And thanks for joining us here at 13 News at noon on this Tuesday. We now know the identities of the two people that were found dead inside a home in Greenwood. The news coming from the Johnson County coroner, now confirming the victims are 33-year-old Karen Clay and 3-year-old Carter Clay. Police say it all started with a call for a welfare check yesterday. When they arrived, they found the mother and the son's bodies inside the house. In fact, police say those bodies had some degree of decomposition, but they wouldn't say how long they had died. Neighbors didn't have a lot to say about the residents other than a woman and a child possibly lived in the house. But now, as you can imagine, they're really worried about how something like this could have happened in what they describe as a relatively quiet neighborhood.
Very nervous. It makes me, you get kind of scared, like, dang, what could have possibly happened? Like, there's not much bad going on over here. So what could have possibly happened to have two bodies somewhere that close to my house?
And perhaps we'll learn more information about this case after that autopsy later today that is scheduled for 1 o'clock. Our meteorologist Lindsay Monroe joins us now as we look ahead to what she is calling a very hot weekend. We've been there, we enjoyed the break, but now the heat's coming back.
It is, but we at least get to stair step our way there. It's not just gonna like you open the door and it hits you in the face. We've got a little time to readjust to the heat and humidity. Now, so far today, there's been quite a bit of rainfall depending on where you live. We even had a couple of alerts for flooding situations, and right now we are watching a little bit of rain still exiting the far eastern tier of the state. Everyone else, though, getting in on a little sunshine as the sky has started to clear. But I've got this area circled because we're watching a little bit of an upper level boundary that's setting up across the central tier of the state. And while we do not see any rain developing within that right now, that's going to be that trigger zone for perhaps a few more pop-up showers as the day plays on. Right now, we're looking at quite a bit of sunshine as we start to heat up the surface temperature right now in Carmel. Warming up right now, temperatures into the 70s will likely end up in the low to mid 80s later today. It's 77 in Indy, 75 in Shelbyville, and 75 in Muncie right now. Dew point temperatures also on the rise. That's going to bring in that added moisture component to the air, making it feel more humid, especially places like Greencastle, where the dew point is up to 68, and Terre Haute, where we have a dew point of 70. That's relatively high. It's going to be feeling pretty humid out there. Over the next several hours, we are headed back to 84 here in Indy. Again, this is not going to be a widespread rain threat later today, but a few of those pop-up showers and thunder showers going to be possible. We'll walk you through the timeline for this Tuesday and the road to the weekend, where temperatures will certainly increase. That's coming up in your 7-day forecast.
Turning now to the latest on our Purdue student's immigration case that now is making national headlines. It was just last night we had an update where we learned that that student now is out of ICE custody. It all started more than 2 days ago with a hearing in New York. Our Alex Omanza gets us up to speed on what happened and also what's next.
Calls to release Yansu Go, or Sue, have turned into celebration as the Purdue student previously detained by ICE agents is now free. A lawyer close to the case says it began when she was applying to convert her R2 visa, a visa for the children of religious workers, into a student visa so she could continue her studies at Purdue. At a routine court hearing last week, they set a new October court date. Then she walked outside where ICE agents were waiting. She spent 48 hours in custody, held first in New York, then in Louisiana.
We are overjoyed. We've worked very hard for our voices to be heard and to lift her up and to convey the message that Sue does not deserve to be in detention, and it's been heard.
New photos now show the moment Go is reunited with her family, embracing her mother, known as a beloved Episcopal priest in New York. Sources tell 13 News she was released on her own recognizance, meaning she's free while her case continues. The Department of Homeland Security says Go overstayed a visa that expired more than 2 years ago, but her family says her visa doesn't expire until December, and that's why her supporters say she shouldn't have been detained in the first place.
It was very confusing for her mother, and for those of us at the Episcopal Diocese of New York who have been supporting her.
And the lawyer that we spoke with tells 13 News that Go's family is hopeful that she'll be back on Purdue's campus in a couple of weeks from now. Also today, we are now taking a closer look at this new partnership expanding immigration enforcement here in Indiana. Indiana Governor Braun made the announcement last week. This is a pending agreement between the state and ICE that would delegate some federal immigration enforcement powers to state or local officers. ICE tells us, for example, that state troopers who are at a DUI checkpoint could flag someone and then share that information directly with ICE. Troopers will get training on how to do that. But what that looks like really still remains unclear. We did talk to an immigration attorney to help sort things out. This attorney says he's worried that this may not be enough.
You know, just determining what somebody's immigration status is, whether a crime makes them deportable, is an extremely complex area of law. Our fear is it can lead to unnecessary detentions, prolonged detentions while somebody tries to figure it out.
Also, under the agreement, the Miami Correctional Facility is making 1,000 beds available to ICE. For context, that's about a third of its total capacity. And we have new data that now suggests that ICE arrests across the state of Indiana have increased significantly. According to the Deportation Data Project, ICE arrested close to 1,400 people in Indiana in the first 6 months of this year. That's an 80% increase compared to the same time frame last year. In June alone, Indiana saw more than 300 ICE arrests. 55 of those people had no criminal charges or convictions. Heading now to Jasper County following a deadly crash along I-65. We want to show you this video from the INDOT cameras just before midnight. This crash happened just north of Lafayette. State police quickly responding to the area near the Fair Oaks farm. Right now, INDOT says at least 3 semis were involved in the crash and 1 person is dead. And now let's take a live look along I-65 in Jasper County right now. You can see the southbound lanes there remain blocked at this hour. Traffic being diverted off the exit to State Road 14. We'll continue to check back and update you to see the latest on the status and when those lanes finally reopen. Here in Indianapolis, leaders are looking for a new developer for a project to overhaul the city market downtown. Developers would like to transform the vacant gold office building next door into apartments. And they also agreed to design Whistler Plaza out front. But now city leaders tell us that the developers in the city mutually agreed that they would part ways, with the developers keeping the gold building and then the city getting the plaza back.
We're equally as anxious. This is such a historical landmark for downtown, for the city of Indianapolis. And so, like I mentioned, we are being very intentional about the improvements that are taking place.
Whistler Plaza, meantime, still on track to open, revamped around 2028. The city is expected to start accepting proposals for the reimagined plaza later this month. Indy Park Corps is now helping young adults in our city get hired. They have a 12-week training for Hoosiers 18 to 24 that ends in an internship. Mars Anderson-Wu started this program just months after finishing high school, and she started as an adoption counselor at IACS in February.
A whole lot of different things that you would have never done in school or out. Just being able to be with these people in person and actually experience the jobs that you would be going into is monumental.
Employee Indy leaders tell us that participants get CPR and OSHA certification, as well as violence prevention training during the 12-week class. Indy Parks Court does 2 sessions every year. If you're interested, check it out. We have an application information for you right now on our website if you head there at WTHR.com.